for this session. I think this governor, like you said, is just, he lofted this term just to see how effectual it would be, so that if he's elected, he'll have more force to implement it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that redistricting is huge. I mean, that's the picture of Maryland going forward.
Now, Mr. Brown is our legislative chair, so he's been following that for the entire year.
Yeah, it's interesting if you look at the makeup of the committee. It's also, the governor's pretty good. Yes, ma'am.
So my question is how much concern, in your opinion, is there in Annapolis? Maryland is a Democratic state. No matter how they redistrict it, this is a Democratic state. If the governor has good numbers, the Democrats have decided he should have good numbers, and that he is meeting the needs of the state of Maryland. So I wonder, in your opinion, how much concern do we have in Annapolis, and is the right things coming out of Annapolis to kind of slow everybody down and say, wait a minute now, you all are celebrating this person, but he's done this, this, and this, because I don't know that that's happening if he has good numbers.
Yeah, you're right. So I think the consensus building on the Democratic, within the two Democratic caucuses in Annapolis, that's something that we've heard more this year, definitely, than last year. Last year we had a huge new class in Annapolis. And the good thing about that class is that most of them weren't already in the political arena, so they weren't part of a group, you know. But so you had some people who challenged the so-called wisdom last year. And we were down to the last week in Annapolis, and we were having knockdown dragouts in these caucuses saying, why are we giving the Republicans anything? We have the numbers. This governor's not going to do this. At one point, we had everybody in Annapolis except for 10 people out of 188, that includes the House and the Senate, who were voting against the budget. On the last day, every Republican voted against that budget. And we knew it was coming. And, you know, so you had members saying, why are we giving them anything? Yet we had some of our leaders saying, well, we need to look as if we're working together, which didn't sour too well. So the GCEI came out. That's when we mandated that on that last day, and then the two mandates going forward this year. So the caucus messages are being crafted a little better, a little more focused, and not to just assume that people are going to vote Democrat. Because if you look at the numbers, we're growing more unaffiliates in this state. If you look at it, you know, so you have. And that growing number of unaffiliates, if they don't feel a direct pain, guess where they're going to vote? They're just going to go with status quo. And so that's where our constituency and the members as well need to be on this from constantly, and not assume that our leaders are going to do that, because some leaders have their plans on what they're going to do for themselves with respect to their legacies and whatever else, versus what tomorrow is going to look like. Our job is to make sure that tomorrow is the tomorrow that we want to see, and not necessarily for those who are actually, in control and, are making the decisions. So, the upcoming elections are going to be very important, and hold your delegates, senators, council members, central committee members, everyone accountable, and be visible up there if you can. I know it's difficult during that 90-day period, but great question, because we have to stay focused. We got to keep our eye on that. Before you know it, I mean, we're halfway through. And there's not a big demand to get rid of this guy. So it's like, we remember when Ehrlich was there, right? When Ehrlich was there, he was a little more braggart than this guy. This guy's a business guy. He has a huge business acumen, as well as been around the political field, even though he wasn't in it, and he is playing it to the hilt. He's got a couple of former delegates, Democratic delegates, by the way. Kiefer Mitchell from Baltimore, who lost, he's working for him. Steve Du Bois, whose district got gerrymandered, and he chose not to run because he thought he was going to lose. And he ends up taking a job with the governor. And so it's like, geez, dude, I mean, you may as well run. And then, so at the end of the day, this middle of the road stuff is really not conducive to be beneficial for Prince George's County at all.
No.
And we just have to keep our minds on that and stay focused and just kind of watch the players doing their thing, because if we don't object to it, they'll continue to do it. End of the day, if it's not relative to you, you're probably not going to do anything about it. And if you can be made to believe that it's not relative to you, that it's okay, trust us, whatever, then we'll end up shorting the stick. So we've moved too far recently, and we have some great things in store for Prince George's and Montgomery and Baltimore to have this governor. Charles will begin to feel it again. They reverted back to Democrat. They're getting ready to feel it as well. But we got to exercise those votes. I appreciate you all's time, and we will have that 90-day report to you all, and you can post it. And once we get that, we'll get the electronic copy for each delegate to look at in 27, and then we'll take that once it's done. I'll get Jake to make sure we send it out so you can post it.
Be glad to.
All right. Thank you very much.